everyone. Let's do a basic dip application for your nails. So I thought that this would be a perfect time to do this because these are my natural nails. On this hand I do have tips, but this hand I have my natural nails, so I thought that it would be easier to explain to you what I do and how you apply dip powder to natural nails. So I already have a layer of the OG Dip Powder Builder Gel on just to strengthen my nails because I have very thin nail beds. So I have that on and I've cured it, all of that. But underneath of that on my natural nails, I have 2 coats of the Apres pH Bonder, which is a dehydrator, and 2 coats of the Apres Primer. And the primer has a almost sticky feeling to it, and it allows the dip powder to adhere to your nails better, I personally think. So over top of my builder gel, I have a coat of my UNT peel base. That is just my personal preference as far as dipping my nails, and I have put that on and it's completely dried and I'm ready to go. So the liquids I'm using today are from OG Dip Powder. They are different from, well actually let me tell you the color and then we can start dipping and I can explain the liquids. So I am going to use I'm a Cool Mom from OG Dip Powder, and it's just, I have glitter in there. Let's see. That's from me, not from the actual dip company. I've used this several times. Just gonna mix it up so it's ready to go. Okay. Anyways, this is part of her Mean Girls collection that she released. So, all right. As far as dipping your nails, you want to just, especially for your first layer, you want to do a very thin coat of your dip liquids. The OG Dip Powder liquids have very low odor. They still have an odor, as does every dip liquid. I mean, there's no way to get around it. But it's a very low odor. I personally have really been enjoying dipping or pouring over my dips. I feel that it gives me more control as far as not pushing around any of the dip liquids, and it doesn't push any of it up into my cuticles and all of that. You can 100% just dip into your liquids if you want to. I just have really enjoyed doing the pour over method lately. Okay, so I was saying, I forgot what I was saying, but I just remembered. The OG dip liquids, I have an entire video on my channel of how to use them. They're different than a lot of other dip liquids in the sense that you put your second coat of activator on and you immediately go in with your top coat. So I will for sure show you that at the end of the video. But I'm just doing thin layers of my dip liquid base, pouring over my color. And I don't know if you heard that, my dog just burped like really loudly next to me. But anyway, you pour over your dip, and then I personally just use a orange wood stick to clean up around my cuticles. And that is it. It's really easy once you get the hang of it. Just, I think the thing that takes the longest is making sure that you are not getting too much of the base and flooding your cuticles and sidewalls and all of that. Okay, so there is one coat. I'm going to dump this back in. And then after this dries, which it's good now, where's my brush? Right here. You are going to just brush off all that excess powder. You want to make sure that you do this between each coat of your base, because if you're just going back over top of your dip without brushing off that excess powder, it's going to get on your brush and it's going to contaminate your liquids, and you're going to have to buy new ones after you've, thickened your liquids up with your powder. There's really no going back from that, unfortunately. But the nice thing about the OG dip liquids also is they are very hard to contaminate, and they do come with the instructions on a really nice little laminated card, so you can keep that in your nail stuff. So as you can see, this still kind of has a wet look to it, so I'm just going to pour over some more of the dip powder and let that soak into the base. And then we will just keep going with our application. Okay, so I got the second coat on, and I personally am not going to do another coat of the dip powder. OG dip powders are very high quality and very pigmented. I find that usually I can get away personally with only doing 2 coats, but I also already have the structure of the builder gel on my nails. If I was dipping on my actual nails and didn't have that builder gel layer, I would for sure do 1 to 2 more dips, so either 3 or 4 dips, but they're not super thin or anything like that, so I'm choosing to only do 2 dips. But like I said, if you are dipping on your natural nails, you're gonna want to do at least 1 more layer. Okay, one thing that I personally like to do is I dip all of my nails in clear. And my favorite clear is Original Glass from OG Dip Powder. And it doesn't matter if I am using a glitter or if I am using a flat color like this one. I always encapsulate in clear. 1, because OG's clear is very thin. It does not add a ton of bulk like excess bulk to your nail. But it gives me the wiggle room that I need in order to file and buff the way that I need to. And I love OG's Clear because you do not get that weird like cloudiness or the white like specks that look almost like air bubbles when you're using her clear. It's very good. So I just like to do this because I don't want to file off any of the color that I laid down. So you guys, I'm gonna just get chatty for a second. My kids, so my youngest, no, not my youngest. Now my dog's scratching. Quit it. My oldest, when he's, so I live in a really small town, and 7th grade here is high school. Like, we don't have like a middle school or anything like that. Actually, our whole school is in one building, so it's pre-K through 12th grade. So when you hit 7th grade, you are in high school here. So my oldest son, he went to school and tried it, and he did not like it. He didn't like having to switch classes. It stressed him out. We were having issues with like stomach problems and things like that because he would get so nervous when he went to school that he would go all day without eating. I would even pack his lunches for him of stuff that I knew that he liked, and he just would not eat. So he actually asked us about doing cyber schooling, and through my state they have a cyber school program, and so it is like only for our state. There's like, I know that there's a lot of like online cyber schools that you can go through, but the one that we go through is specifically for the state that we live in. So in 7th grade, he started going to the cyber school thing. And then my youngest was supposed to start 7th grade, and COVID hit. So my husband and I decided that I'm letting my hands sit and dry for a second before I brush it off. So my husband and I decided that we would do the cyber schooling for our youngest as well. And so since then, they both have been doing the cyber school, and it's been amazing. Okay, let me explain what I'm doing quick. I'm going to take a stiff brush, and if you like look at that, there's nothing. There's no weird specks of cloudiness, like nothing. It is just, it's crystal clear. Like, it's amazing. This is seriously the best pink. Okay, now I'm going to take my activator and activate. Anyway, so I was actually cleaning the kitchen up today, and I heard a knock on the door, and it was UPS, and they were bringing my youngest son's 8th grade cyber school stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I literally feel like we just finished school, and then now we have school stuff again already. Like, Lord, does anybody else feel that way though? Like, seriously, I feel like we just finished with schooling, and now we have to do it again soon, which is nice because the online schooling that my kids do, they have actual teachers that are teaching them. So, but I'm just here, you know, if they need help, or if I can help them, if if it comes down to math, yeah, that ain't for me. So I'm not going to be helping with that. All right. So I'm going to let these dry for about 4-ish minutes, and then we will come back and file and buff. All right. With the OG activator, because these liquids are more delicate than a lot of harsher, like normal dip liquids, you really want to be patient and you want to let these dry fully. So you want to wait until you can hear that like tapping, like clicking noise before you start filing, or it's basically going to like tear, I guess you could say. So I also wanted to show you something too. I have I've used this a couple of times, but I wanted to show you in case you didn't know. When you get a new file, this is just an old one that I have, you want to go around the edges and score it. So you're putting, maybe if I do it this way, you're just going over the sides, and it's going to get rid of the sharpness on your nail files so that it's not cutting your cuticles and stuff. All right. So let's start filing and shaping our nails. I think that I'm just going to do this one on camera, and then I'm going to do the other ones off because it takes me a while to file. This one went on really easy though, so my filing and buffing are pretty much non-existent. But I'm going to take the smooth edge of my buffing tool and just really go over the top. Remember, we put that clear dip over our nail, so we have the room that we're going to need to file and buff. So there we go. It is perfectly smooth. All right, so I'm going to do the rest of my nails, and then we'll come back and we will top coat. So we have filed and buffed, or I guess I have. I'm going to take my rubbing alcohol with this lint-free wipe, and this is how I choose to get rid of all of the filings from filing and buffing my nails off. You can just run your hands underneath of water with no soap, and that also works. I just personally prefer to use alcohol. And it is drying, but the amount of cuticle oil I use, like, it's okay. All right, so I'm just gonna go back over them just to soak up the rest of that alcohol that is on my nails. All right, now for the fun part, the top coat. All right, so normally with dip liquids, you are going to put your activator on and you're gonna wait like 2 minutes, and then you're going to rub off the excess. Oh, I couldn't get that open. You're going to rub off the excess activator with a lint-free wipe, and then you're going to go in with your top coat. OG dip liquids are different. So we are going to go in, you're going to do one hand at a time. So do not go through and activate both of your hands. So you're going to go through, activate all of your nails, and then you're going to immediately go back in with your first layer of top coat. Now this is like normal dip liquids where you're going to want to do a 2 to 3 quick strokes on your nail. You don't want to be like rubbing around in the activator. These are hard to contaminate, but this is what's going to give you that gel-like shine. All right, so, and then you can go right in with your second and final coat. I personally prefer to wait for the first layer to start taking a crinkle effect. You can kind of see it starting in my light that's shining, reflecting on my nail. So now I'm just going to go back in, and you can do a more detailed top coat just like you would with normal dip liquids. But I have been using my OG dip liquids now for a couple of months, and I have not had any of them contaminate on me. No hardened brushes, nothing. They are amazing. And like I said, they do have a slight smell, but it's very, very, very low odor. And they don't burn my eyes, don't make my nose run, burn my nose, nothing like that. So after you're done with that, you're going to let them dry for about, I don't know, 5-ish minutes. And then you're going to go in with your cuticle oil, and your mani will be done. So it's super easy. I just wanted to do a kind of back to basics type of video on my channel. I know I've done one before, but these are my preferred liquids now, so I thought doing an updated video would be helpful. So if you have any questions, if you have any video suggestions, anything like that, let me know. And I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.